Welcome to this explainer. Okay, right off the bat, I want to share a surprising fact with you. Most millionaires, they do not look like millionaires. You might have heard of the millionaire next door concept. Well, it's absolutely true. Today, we are going to completely flip everything you thought you knew about money, success, and status. We live in a world that's obsessed with looking rich. We feel this constant pressure to upgrade our cars, our homes, our wardrobes. But what if looking wealthy is actually the exact thing preventing you from being wealthy? It's a huge paradigm shift. True wealth rarely looks like what you see on social media. Usually, it looks completely ordinary.
So close your eyes for a second. What does a millionaire actually look like? You're probably picturing head-to-toe designer clothes, maybe a massive mansion, definitely driving a flashy luxury car. But based on that Millionaire Next Door research, this image is completely 100% wrong. If you were out there trying to mimic that flashy image, you're playing a losing game.
Just look at the stark difference here. On the left, we've got a guy driving a 2009 Honda Civic. The dashboard is literally cracked. But guess what? His net worth is $1.4 million. Now look at the right. A woman driving a brand new leased Audi Q7. She's wearing a Rolex, but her net worth? Barely $38,000. This is not just a random coincidence. It's a proven pattern. Looking wealthy and actually building wealth are totally opposite activities.
Section 1. The flashy trap. The high cost of looking wealthy. When you go out and buy these highly visible status symbols, you're usually buying an illusion, and it's an illusion funded entirely by debt. Here is the literal price tag of performing that success: $738. That is the average monthly payment for a new car in 2025. Just let that sink in. You are bleeding hundreds of dollars a month just to make sure the complete strangers next to you at a red light think you're doing well. But here is the stark mathematical reality of that choice. Let's say you drove a reliable, paid-off used car instead, and you took that $738 a month and invested it. Over 20 years, assuming a standard 8% return, you would have about $439,000. Think about that. You didn't just choose a nice car. You chose a car payment over nearly $500,000. No way around it. That's a huge trade-off. So why do we do this? Well, psychology calls it the spotlight effect. It's our tendency to constantly overestimate how much other people actually care about our stuff. You feel like you are walking around under a giant spotlight, but in reality, everyone else is standing under their own spotlight. They're just worrying about themselves. Honestly, they're probably stressing over their own crazy car payments. You are going into debt to impress an imaginary audience. Basically, you're buying front row tickets to a show that nobody is even watching.
The author Morgan Housel hits the nail on the head right here. He says, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. It is the ultimate prosperity paradox. When your income goes up and you instantly buy a bigger house and a better car, you aren't richer. You just inflated your lifestyle. You've actively destroyed your potential net worth.
Section 2. The silent wealth reality. How real millionaires actually live.
So, if the flashy spenders are often the ones who are secretly broke, how do the actual rich live? Well, the typical millionaire drives a Toyota, a Honda, or a Ford. They are incredibly frugal. In fact, research shows the average millionaire is far more likely to buy a $40 pair of shoes than a $500 pair. They live in middle-class neighborhoods. They hunt for deals. They don't look like money, which is exactly why they still have it. Let's walk through this real quick. Notice the stark contrast in everyday behaviors. The fake rich, the anti-stealth wealth crowd, they buy luxury cars, giant diamond rings. They brag constantly about their money. They plaster their private jets and five-star hotels all over social media, just desperately seeking validation. But stealth wealth practitioners, they buy modest homes, reliable used cars. They stay quiet about their income, and they keep a really low digital footprint. They value their peace way more than getting attention.
Here's another great one from Morgan Housel. Wealth is what you don't see. I want you to really think about that. True wealth is the $800 you did not spend on a fancy watch. True wealth is the money sitting quietly in index funds. It's the fully funded emergency fund, the paid-off mortgage. It is the financial options, the security, and the flexibility that you've accumulated over time. You cannot see an investment portfolio, but let me tell you, it protects you far better than a designer belt ever could.
Section 3. The psychology of modesty, the hidden advantages of not signaling wealth.
You know, avoiding flashy purchases doesn't just save you money. It comes with some massive psychological payoffs. First off, it gets you off the hedonic treadmill, where you constantly feel the need to buy shinier things. It also fosters genuine, authentic relationships because people like you, not for your wallet. It protects your privacy and physical security, and most importantly, it creates massive financial optionality. It buys you freedom. And hey, if you're finding this valuable, please subscribe to Wealth Lab and share this video with your friends and family. It really helps us grow.
Now, to see just how deep our bias goes here, check out this fascinating academic study by researchers Cerna and Barash. They asked people to select an outfit for an avatar to wear during a cooperative task. Some of these avatars wore conspicuous, flashy luxury brands. Others wore modest, plain, everyday clothing. The researchers basically wanted to see how society really judges flashy spenders.
And the data is absolutely shocking. People predicted that the modest partner would cooperate 62% of the time, but the partner dripping in flashy luxury, that dropped down to just 40%. Society actually views flashy consumers as significantly less warm and a lot more selfish. It is totally ironic. Showing off doesn't make people respect you. It often just makes them trust you less. This is exactly why you see billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg wearing plain gray t-shirts every day. Sure, first off, it combats decision fatigue, but more importantly, it signals quiet luxury. It projects immense confidence. It's basically saying to the world, I no longer desperately need your external validation. The ability to completely ignore status symbols, that has actually become the ultimate status symbol itself.
Section 4. Applying the stealth mindset. Practical rules to build real net worth.
So how do you actually apply this stealth mindset in your own life? The absolutely crucial point here is upgrading your mental operating system. First, you have to stop comparing yourself to your peers. Define your personal success metric internally. Second, stop signaling with possessions. Let your healthy bank account do the signaling for you. And third, actually, this one is my favorite. Treat every status dollar you save as an investment dollar. When you say no to an $800 watch, mentally convert that into an $800 index fund purchase. You are not depriving yourself, you are literally buying your future freedom.
It all boils down to the ultimate question. Status spenders are constantly asking themselves, will this make me look successful? But stealth wealth practitioners, they ask, will this make me financially free? True freedom means having the ability to leave a toxic job whenever you want, to take 3 months off for a family emergency without panicking, to retire early. You cannot buy those options if your paycheck is entirely tied up in car leases and designer clothes. So I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought. Are you affording wealth, or are you just affording the performance of wealth? Stop spending your real, hard-earned money on a fake show. Embrace the ordinary. Buy your freedom instead. Thank you for joining us today. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to Wealth Lab. We'll see you in the next one.